Did you know that Hearthstone has a Facebook page? Did you also know that back in the day, Hearthstone used to reveal cards one at a time with a pictured post for each card? It's gonna take forever scrolling through these pictures to get down to the point where they used to do that. But when we do, we'll be able to see everyday people's comments about cards from the moment that they were revealed. In this video, we're taking a look at comments about cards that the community got wrong, or at least those that commented did. I'm sure you, yourself, as a member of the community, have never been wrong. Plate Breaker. This is a card that to this day people are just wrong about, and they refuse to not be wrong about it. It's hilarious. This card has never and will never be worth playing. Just literally ever. It's horrid. Let's see what people think about it 6 years ago. Finally, I've been waiting for this card. 32 likes. Amazing. We've needed one of these for so long. What do we need? Rip to my 2K armor druid deck. This is also a heavy blow to warrior and druid in general. It's just not a heavy blow. This card just actively does nothing. Take this out of the game. It's going to ruin a ton of good decks for no reason. That's actually bars. He's just thinking it's going to ruin the opposite decks than it actually is ruining. Instead of ruining the armor decks, it's ruining the decks of the people putting Plate Breaker in their decks. This card is dangerous. It shouldn't even exist. I mean, I could get along with that, but it's not good. Stack the dishes, crank the plates. That's what the odd warrior bars. Ew, hard counters like this are terrible in best of one games like Hearthstone. I mean, I agree. Tech cards are not good. They generally should not exist. They're a problem to solve a problem when you could just solve a problem instead of putting another problem in. But anyway, I've been saying this should come out for like 6 expansions. Dude, this was Descent of Dragons. There's like 6 expansions before that. I mean, there's more and there's like adventures, but it's like the call nerf we were waiting for. Oh no, literally yelled at WTF to myself when I read this card. Rip Control Warrior and Wild, sheesh. Only if you're running this card in Control Warrior. Too strong. Should remove 5 to 10 of your opponent's armor, not all of it. Dude, I could laugh at this card for like 17 years. If you have fun playing this card, if you've had it work and you've had a great fun highlight, more power to you. It's just objectively a terrible card. What better card to look at the reviews for than the Lich King from August 7th, 2017 at nearly 4:20 p.m. This post was posted. The cards gained are really awesome, I'll agree, but I just don't see anything changing much going into this expansion. I mean, what control decks are actually viable right now? I guess he has a place in Taunt Warrior now that I think about it. He's pretty much going to be garbage in everything else. You could play him in Priest too, I guess, but you have Silence Priest, which is decent, so why would you bother putting a card like this in your deck? TLDR, cool card, but unless the meta shifts drastically, which I highly doubt, it's not going to see play outside of Paladin, and even then it's competing with Tyrion. I don't know, man. I think this card was pretty good. I don't think that was quite spot on. I think I saw a lot of play in Priest. I think the card was just good for the time. A lot of people just thought it wouldn't be good, but it would be cool. And maybe that's just because they've been burned too many times in the past, but Lich King, certifiable good card. Corridor Creeper. I'm excited to look at this one because we all know from the infamous Copy Pasta that on set review he was a sleeper. So in a little bit of a curveball, I'm not just going to read comments of people that like thought it would be bad. I'm going to see if anyone thinks it's nuts, thinks it's broken. Watch Evolve Shamans drop this on turn 4 or better yet play it for free right before Thrall Deathseer. I hadn't thought of that, thank you. No. He's not helping you at all. This is not an Evolve card. At least not yet. Interesting. At first thought, this is an auto-include in Hunter, but generally you do not want to have your minions die as you want to fight for board control. I still see it finding some place in Midrange Hunter, though simply for the fact that it is basically always going to be a 4-mana 5/5 at worst, and a free 5/5 a good portion of the time. Good card. Hey, way to go, Garrison. It's a lot better than a good card, but a good card is not a wrong prediction. Honestly, it's not great. You gotta draw it, then have 4 minions die for it to be good. Doesn't even have a keyword. Swing and a miss. I can already see Hunter and Paladins playing this card for free. I mean, hey, that's... We're getting somewhere. Maybe Evolve Shaman might run this too. No, it's just not. It's just not an Evolve card. You have no reason to evolve your 0-mana 5/5 on turn 3. You just don't. Might see some play in Paladin Silver Hand deck. Yeah, or every aggro deck that exists in the whole game ever. That evolve value? No. An epic looks like a common in my opinion. Combo with the Violet Worm? Bro, we playing this for 0 on turn 9? What do you want about? Thrall is salivating. Oh no. Must pick arena card. Dude, do anybody? Crystalline is better? Oh no. Yes, there's like 3 people here who thought the card would be anything but terrible. Classic, dude. This is the classic set review sleeper, so we can't really pick on anybody here. Shadow Council. This is a card that I've had some fun playing in some like custom rule deck building tournaments over the years. But we all know, maybe not the worst meme card of all time, but it's a meme card. Let's not lie to ourselves. This card's hot doo-doo. Let's see what people think. This is the type of high risk, high reward strats I love in Hearthstone. Strong start. This is going to be straight fun, and in truth, not that bad. Even if you end up with the Voidwalkers, for example, that's a 1-mana 3/5 with Taunt. I would argue that's the upside, not the even if you end up with. I would say that is best case scenario. Doubt we will see anything constructed with it at its core. Okay, you're not wrong there at least. It's like, you know, it's a card. It's a meme. When the Shadow Council gets lonely. When the Shadow Council gets lonely. Oh gosh. This is way too powerful in my opinion. It's a tough sell, I'm gonna be honest. Darkest Hour gets a more legitimate plan B. I mean, I don't really know what to think about that. That's a choice. Them worthless imps don't seem so worthless anymore. Fair enough. You get to change them into whatever a random demon is. This card is lovely. This card's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Mostly people are just excited about it, which is great. You should be excited about Hearthstone cards. You should think they're fun. But the people who think it's just straight up powerful or broken is really funny because it's just not. It's just not at all. The Amazing Arena. This is a card that for the time 5 years ago, very shiny, very fancy. A hero card in Mage. Poof, that's kind of powerful. Make all cards disappear without their death rattles going off. Crazy. But as we know, just really a pile of random steaming doo-doo garbage that just couldn't be played with everything else. Outside of, you know, maybe it's few weeks. Fantastic effect. Exactly the kind of thing we've been missing. Hero power is a bit of a concern though. This guy gets it. He was like, yeah, the Battle Cry's sweet if you can live. It's like a full sweep. Reset the board. It's got, you know, modern day Reno hero vibes where you just whoop, get rid of that board. But yeah, the hero power is a negative. It's like it's actively bad. Not only does it make certain type of players not even want to interact with the card because like the feeling of dread from having the hero power up, but it's also just bad. It's just bad. I'd rather have Fire Blast. I love everything about this. Also, I feel bad for my opponents because I'm going to need to play all of the Reno emotes. Maybe I'll only do that with my daughter. Oh, that's so wholesome. That's cheating. Oh no. Full board clear without consequence. I would argue 10 mana, do nothing other than board clear, and have an actively bad hero power is a significant consequence. Next up, we have Perfection itself. We have Ziliax. I'm so excited to see what people thought about Ziliax 7 years ago. It kind of reminds me of Ghostly Charger. Only really saw it in Arena, but still pretty interesting. Kind of risky. Imagine it surviving and being combined with another mech. Okay. I'm pretty sure this will be in every mech deck ever. Real. Need to see all the mech first. You don't really need to see mechs. Not really required to be a mech. Pretty solid, but with that stat line, there's no way you ever drop this as a standalone minion. I don't know about that, bud. I don't know about that. I don't know. I think that Unity Precision Perfection was a playable card on its own. What do you guys think? Step 1, have Flame Tongue up. Step 2, win. What deck are you cooking up, brother? Was there a Flame Tongue Totem Ziliax deck out there I forgot about? Let me know in the comments, because that's a funny thing to think of as like a 1-2 punch. This dude must have been playing Shaman when he saw this reveal and was like, oh my gosh. That with this Flame Tongue Totem that I'm looking at right now? Boom. Is this going to be the new staple card for every meta deck? Like a way less powerful Cthulhu? Only decks running mech minions. The deck's currently seeing play run no mechs and have little use for this. Unlucky, Rob. Unlucky. This card fits into so many packages, I can see it seeing play without mech synergy. Jeremy! Bars! He's spitting! As we know, Ziliax was just a phenomenal card. It was the neutral card that was played the most in the most decks and was really good, whether in mech decks or just on its own. It was 5 mana, kill a thing, heal, still have a minion. Like, it was just, for the time, it was really, really good. For the most part, people thought too much about it being like an optionable magnetic, and not enough people thought about it just being a minion and just like having a lot of keywords. Very interesting. What a gold mine of nostalgia. Blood Reaver Gul'dan, Knights of the Frozen Throne continues with the Warlock Death Knight card. I think this comment might be the greatest comment I've ever read. This wasn't what we wanted, Blizzard. We wanted something like, summon all friendly minions you discarded this game, or something similar to that. You keep pushing the discard mechanic so hard, but give nothing to back it up. This card is fine. It's alright, but it is not what I was hoping for. It's cool, but it's not going to make Warlock not bad. It's just way too slow. 10 mana? This isn't going to see play at all. This meta is still so fast-paced and aggressive. We need a drastic change in the meta for cards like this to be played. These people did not see Cube Lock coming. They just did not see the fact that big demons and Cube Warlock were going to be a thing that was going to dominate the game. If I could have more than 7 demons out at once, it might be worth it. My problem is you don't choose which ones you get. Real. Who wants to summon Void Wakers anyway? This is the type of closer Warlock needs, but surrendering a full turn is insane. The way he says full turn kind of amuses me. As if like playing a Flame Imp on turn 1 isn't sacrificing a full turn. Like I get what he means with like sacrificing a full maximum 10 mana turn, like the most amount of mana you could spend to like in a turn, you know, within like your normal mana anyway. But it's really funny with that wording. Void Lord. Anti-aggro cards that don't work until turn 9, where the matchup is already decided. Thought the unplayability of Sogoth would have been a learning experience. I'm gonna go out on a line and say Indigo, not very high on Void Lord being good 7 years ago. This encapsulates my issue with Blizzard. The math says this card has a mana cost of 6. Okay, for the bundled value, maybe 7. But 9? Good luck not raging when you open this pile. Yeah, it's a bit off. I never comment on your page, but as someone who likes Warlock and Hearthstone in general, look at this garbage. Honestly, look at it and do the mana math. It should cost 7, and at the very most, you know it. I read that a little wrong, but like, it's just like, these people did not expect Skull of Minari, I guess, to like be good, or like they just didn't see that the card existed. There's just a whole lot of people not expecting this card to see any play at all, and it being way too expensive. Spirit of the Frog, a card that like was extremely turbo broken and actually got nerfed by 2 mana. Although that was like years after it rotated in Wild, so my brain and like some of that's gonna be a little warped from standard reality. But obviously this card's really good. If like you have no spells, then like maybe it was bad in standard, but you have the spells, kind of the turbo nuts. Okay, that's kind of neat, but is this supposed to help push Shaman Burn? I feel like the Seinfeld theme should play after I read that comment. 6 years ago, Burn Shaman returns. Burn Shaman is back. Burn Shaman. Burn Shaman climbing the NA Legend ladder. 6 years ago. Kragwa Burn Shaman. That's an experiment though. Could be bad. Easy Legend with Burn Shaman. Not that creators playing decks mean cards and decks were actually good, but it's kind of a decent reference because even the like creators that are just playing what's fun have to play things that are good for people to think that they're fun, because losing isn't fun. But yes, it was in fact supposed to help push Burn Shaman. It's like the entire card is just play spells, draw. Burn Shaman? I like playing spells and I want to draw. Should I put these two together? Well, I don't know. I'm really excited about this one. July 30th, 2018, Mechathune comes out with the Boomsday Project expansion. I have friends who to this day hate this card. Despise this card. It has not seen play in Wild in I was gonna say a decade. Obviously it's hyperbole, but literally the game's only been out a decade, but it has not been relevant in years. And this card still haunts them because you'd play a control deck or something slow and you would like lose to Mechathune in like so many ways. And as time went on, the ways only kind of went up and got better. What do people think? Are they gonna say this card is good or hot doo-doo? Let's find out. This is garbage. All right, settled. Because it isn't a battle cry with how much silence is going to be on ladder because of this expansion. This is just bad by default. Are we forgetting that, like, do people see a 10 mana card and assume two things? One, you can only play it from hand by paying 10 mana. And two, it's all you can do in your turn is play this singular card. Is that what people assume when they see 10 mana cards? Like, maybe they assumed, okay, how can I, like, clear all my deck in my hand and then get this out and then kill this? That, like, intuitively doesn't make a lot of sense, because how can you kill this if your hand's empty? People might not have realized that, like, your last card being played that also is killing this counts. But it's very funny that, like, they just assume the way you have to use it is by playing, orning out of deck, being in fatigue, playing all the cards out of your hand over the turns, and then having this be your only thing left and hoping your opponent can't answer it. Let's see if anyone else thinks it was garbage or good. There's that one card that draws the rest of your deck, so I imagine once you have that, you play this and hope they don't sheep or frog it. Myra's Unstable Element. Do people play that? Way too situational. Every person discounts every single Death Rattle card by saying, LOL, ever heard of silence? No deck has ever carried that much, and some of the best cards ever to be released continue to be Death Rattle cards that get played or will regularly. Bars, Jim. Silence was, like, extremely good really early. They, like, Hall of Fame Spellbreaker, nerfed Iron Begowl, and then ever since then, it's just been, like, a thing that exists, sort of, kind of. Hemmet decks, but have these instead of that Paladin card, Holy Wrath. Discard your entire deck if it has nothing but low-cost cards. This card in Hemmet, dude. Hector's a genius, and he got laughed at. The goats get laughed at. If you ever get laughed at for your take, just know you're a future goat, all right? Crazy. Personally, I feel like this is possible to pull off in Wild. Okay, fair. You were right there. But it would be ridiculous in Standard if you don't have a way to pull off the Death Rattle in a single turn. What class has that ability right now? See, Tom is asking the right questions. The guy at the top just was like, play card for 10 mana and turn. Pray. Didn't even think about synergies. This plus Innerblade. This plus Innervate plus Naturalize as an alternate win condition for a super slow Druid deck? Sure. Or your entire win condition for a super fast Warlock Druid deck. Wasted Legendary, too situational to consistently build around. Meanwhile, it has minimal value at all if you don't build around it. What are you talking about? Okay, you're saying it's too situational to build around it, and it's useless if you don't. You're right about it being useless if you don't. If you don't build around it, this is a random card you discover off of the Dr. Boom hero. But if you do build around it, turns out it's not too situational. It's actually kind of gas. And maybe some of the cards that ended up being staples in different Mechathune decks came out later. But, very few people saw this card and were like, yeah, this is gas. Hemmet, this card, and Cataclysm will make for a funny, interesting, probably bad Warlock combo deck. Dude, spitting bars right there. I can already see it. Build a deck full Lodic mid-cost, and then play that monster where you have one of those spells that draws your entire deck card. What are we talking about? Myra's again? I don't know. This Crypt Phase. That's what people should have thought. Because, like, if you were a control... people for Plate Breaker were like, dude, Warrior, dead. People, when they see this card, should have been like, oh my gosh, Warrior dead. Okay? That was when the alarm bell should have gone off for your Control Warrior. Was this card. Not Plate Breaker. It's time, baby. We're all the way back now to the Witchwood. Gen Greymane. One of the most meta-warping cards Hearthstone has ever seen. What did people think when it was revealed, though? This is by far the best card so far. Okay. Okay, David. Starting hero power, meaning it won't carry over with hero cards. I just don't see this or Baku seeing any play. Death Knight cards are bonkers in too many classes. Honestly, if you're gonna miss, that's a fair way to miss. It's just like a totally different version of Hearthstone than anything you would seen. Seems good, but you have to build your deck around it. Dude, what I'm noticing from this video is that there are so many people in like reviews that were like, yeah, this card seems good, but you gotta build your deck around it, which means it's just like, you can't do it. Did we not stop, as a community, did we not stop to think that, like, hey, maybe some cards should have decks built around them, and that's kind of the point. Like, this card isn't just like, oh, it's a cool effect, but you have to build your deck around it. It's like literally forcing you to build its deck around it. That's the whole point. This is like a quest where your quest is to build a deck with only even cost cards, and then your reward is at the start of the game instead of when you complete your quest on turn 6 or whatever. That's crazy. We were so young We were so new to this Hearthstone thing. I got excited to use this with OTK Death Knight Paladin, and then I remember Uther costs 9 Psy. It wouldn't even work. This plus Justicar is 10 million bajillion% better than Baku Moon Eater plus anything. Interesting. Surrender your will to the colorless card. Facts, dude. Always gives you something to do on turn 1. So wait, does that mean you can't play this with Justicar? Why are we still talking about Justicar? The Witchwood is here. TGT is old news. This card is okay in standard, but will be better in wild. It's kind of right. Everything's kind of better in wild, though, if it's good, right? It's just kind of how it works. But it was a lot more than okay in standard. Not even vanilla stats unplayable. I kind of hope that's a joke. I kind of think that's a joke. Neutral Raza. All right. It seems like most people were like, if they didn't completely miss, just like cognitively looking at, there are a lot of people here that were like, okay, actually this card's kind of going to be good. But there are a few people that are like, no. And that's really funny. Might be decent if there's Inspire support. Bro, that take aged like milk. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see what people said about Baku. It's only right. Baku the Moon Eater. This will 100% be played in Odd Face Hunter, kind of bars. Only deck I can see this working in is Control Warrior. All their armor bashing abilities are odd cost. I mean, hey, Odd Warrior was a deck that existed. Too bad 0 is an even number, so that kind of hoses this for Rogue, sadly. Odd Rogue enjoyers wanna let David know. Quest Hunter, also Secret Mage will benefit from this a lot. Wait, 7 years ago? That means the Quest Hunter he's talking about is Ngoro. What are we talking about? Quest Hunter? You're gonna make me play a bunch of 1-mana 3/2s as my reward? What are we talking about? Warlock Hero Power is so much better upgraded. Dude, there was such a high hit rate on odd and even decks. It's really funny to see someone mention one of a few that just like never really was that significantly relevant at all. Some people are getting Hunter and Warrior. I haven't seen a single person say Paladin, like in the slightest. What is odd cost or even cost cards? How can we categorize cards as odd or even? Is this someone with like English as their third language? What? Odd cost. How can we categorize a card as odd? Wow, that's a comment. That's a comment that somebody gave. Somebody gave that comment. That's hilarious. Dude, Paladin is going to be crazy. Chris, bars, but wait until you see Gen. Then it'll be even more bars. Turn 1 hero power makes Priest sad. Yeah, Odd Priest also kind of a meme. But a fun meme, no less. A Warlock? No health loss, plus Q block. I'd rather lose health on my life tap than give up like Gul'dan and all the other even cost cards. Prince Tal'Daram, sure. That's a lot of downsides to merge together. Yay, OP. Okay, a couple people got it right. There's just not like, it was so unique how Gen and Baku warped the meta, so I'm not that surprised to see how many people missed. And also like, they just like weren't that familiar with upgraded hero powers and stuff, and like especially like what it would look like to have a 1-mana hero power. We're speaking from such a high place of like literally knowing what happened, but yeah, it's so fun to look back and see what people thought about these cards on release. Absolutely hysterical.
I don't want to go full YouTuber and post a where I've been video, but it has been a long time since I've posted. A lot has been going on, and mostly honestly in my head. And for a few minutes here at the end of this video, I'm just going to talk about the channel, myself, and the future, and just all that I've been thinking about in my head. First, starting off with the channel. For those who've been following me for a long time being like several years, you'll know that I made a drastic switch in the kind of content that I was posting to this channel a little over a year ago. I switched from posting gameplay challenges, such as like, you know, I'd get 3 contestants and have them hit a button, getting one of random 50 results. 49 of them were challenges. One of them was winning a preset bundle to an expansion. And so these 3 contestants were just a whole video hitting the button, completing a quick challenge, coming back to hit the button until eventually someone won the packs. Another example would be like a video I'm really fond of, Hearthstone Horse with Corbett. It's like the basketball game where you like call your shot, and if you make it, the other person has to make it, or they get a letter that spells out horse and they lose. But we did that in Hearthstone. So I'd say like, I have to successfully summon the Ancient One or whatever. And if I queue up and I summon the Ancient One, he would have to queue up and summon the Ancient One. If I queue up and die before summoning the Ancient One, it's his shot essentially, and he has to come up with a challenge. I thought the video was great. I thought all the videos were great. Another example is like Hearthstone Pictionary. I also did game shows, Hearthstone Jeopardy, Hearthstone Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. You know, I did custom trivia shows as well, like Hearthstone's Hardest Quiz, where I just made like literally the hardest Hearthstone quiz that I could. But ultimately, none of these videos really worked. They were kind of taking an idea or something I wanted to make and just like bashing it into Hearthstone, which didn't make sense. And then about a year ago, like, you know, I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna try making like a video essay. I'm gonna try making a talking video. I'm gonna like use this knowledge I have of playing the game for 10 years, playing a lot of Wild, to talk about cool stories of cards that eventually went on to do something powerful or cool when they were like just a meme, useless, terrible garbage card for like a bajillion years. So I did 5 bad cards that broke Hearthstone, where I just, you know, throw up a video clip of someone playing a deck or card that I'm talking about and I talk over it. And so you can see what I'm talking about and I can tell that story or talk about that bug or talk about that nerf or talk about that card, whatever it may be. And that was the video, right? It was just 5 cards or nerfs or buffs or mechanics or whatever, and I would just talk about them. And that, you know, there's nothing wrong with that style of video. It's great. It's fine. This brings me to the last few months, where I was trying to post these type of videos more often, because something I've noticed all the way back from years ago is that Hearthstone viewers value quantity much more than they value quality. I don't know why that is. I don't know if we've all just have it ingrained in us from like all the daily Hearthstone gameplay videos where it's just you get comfortable with the creator and you want to see them pop up every day, or if I'm just really bad at putting quality in and should focus on quantity. I don't know. But anyway, people have generally left comments. They've said, hey, I love the increased output lately, right? They say things like that. It's not just in the numbers. It's also like audience sentiment. They want more videos more often, and spending an extra week to make it better does not translate in the numbers. It just doesn't matter to people. So in the last like 3 or 4 months, I tried posting videos more often, and I tried different ways to do that. None of these were successful, and ultimately this general goal of trying to do videos faster has led to some really bad videos. An example would be the worst card for every rarity in Hearthstone. But what I thought would be fun from like a community standpoint, but also admittedly to save time, was to ask people in a Twitter post and YouTube post what they thought the worst cards in Hearthstone were, and then I categorized them by rarity, the rarity that they had, and I talked about them in each section. And I said in the intro that that's what I was doing. This wasn't like some cryptic thing where I'm just, these are the worst cards and I present only the ones that were commented, and I didn't specify why. I specifically said that I'm talking about the cards that were commented, but that left people, rightfully so, feeling like the video was half-baked or like confused. There's probably 15 comments on that video. What about Millhouse Mana Storm? It's like, well, yeah, that's a card. Nobody commented it, right? I only talked about the cards people commented. So that video probably would have been better if I talked about the cards people commented, said whether or not I actually agreed or disagreed, and then talked about cards that I think should have been included, that weren't included. But the idea was to just get it out quickly, and there was like a nice like community element that I thought would be nice too, but neither landed. So I'm trying to make these videos faster, which is leading to bad videos. It's leading to uncreative videos, which are really unsatisfying to make people upset. Like, it's just, I'm not having as much fun, you're not having as much fun watching them. It's all just a downward spiral, which I eventually kind of hit the bottom of, and I had like, I don't want to say midlife crisis, because what are we talking about here? But it was like, I was like, man, what am I doing? Like, what should I be doing? And at the same time, my real life is getting really busy because I bought a fixer-upper and like it just needs work everywhere. And so it's hard to balance full-time job, having a wife, having a house that needs lots of attention, and also making YouTube videos in my free time, and trying to do that at a quantity that makes sense. Obviously, I could hire an editor to increase the output, but the editor would cost more than the videos would make, and so it'd be a risk to try to eventually get to a point where that wasn't true. But the TLDR of this whole segment, because I don't know what's going to be in about the channel segment and what I'm cutting out because I'm talking for way too long, is that I try to make videos faster, which led to really bad videos that were unsatisfying to make and unsatisfying to watch. And I don't want to do that anymore. And to be clear, this video you're watching right now was also not a good video, but it wasn't something that like I rushed or like used some crappy logic to try to make it work. I just like read comments and just vibed. But the reason it's a bad video is because I don't do this kind of video anymore. I don't use my webcam hardly ever. I don't like record live, sort of, right? Like this was kind of like a stream cut down, even though it was recorded. I just have only been using like the same type of videos with the blue background and the talk over the footage and have like an idea of what I'm going to talk about, instead of like entertaining in a different way, right? Maybe it'd be playing the game, maybe it's reading reviews. And so I want to try to mix in other types of videos, even if they're going to do poorly, right? Like I'm not going to be surprised when this video does poorly. It's not going to shock me in the slightest. I expect this video to do poorly, but it's a video that I can get better at, right? There's some audio issues in this video because I'm not used to like talking into my mic in that way. I'm not used to using the camera setup. Like there are skills that I can learn and develop while making these type of videos to make them better over time, which is the satisfying part to me about making YouTube videos, right? There's like the game within the metrics, but the game within like becoming better at your hobby skills is the part that I care about. I want to like slow down, and when I release one, I want it to be exciting. I want it to be like, oh snap, how cool. he posted a 5 something or a 6 something cars that did something, right? Like, I want that to be exciting. And when I'm posting crap, you're not excited to watch the next one if the last one was crap. So TLDR about the channel. I'm gonna start mixing in some other videos. Hopefully it's not as crappy and as garbage, and hopefully I'm happy about actually posting. Thumbnails might be different, style might be different, but it's going to be something I enjoy making, and I'm not going to worry so much about the numbers in the background. I'm not going to worry so much about the quantity. I'm just going to post stuff, and if you like it, I'll post more of it. If you don't like it, it'll just be a one-off that I had fun making, and I'll move on to something else. If you're still here at the end, if you watched and actually enjoyed this video, literally there's nothing else I could do to convince you to subscribe. This video wasn't good, and you've sat through me ranting now for many, many minutes. So if you haven't subscribed yet, you really should. And I'll see you in the next video.